Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I haven't done one of these in a while, so I figured, what the hell. My friend Brian had lent me, or loaned me, or whatever, The Evil Within on the Xbox One. So if you haven't heard of this, it's, I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but it's made by the dude who, I think, like, kind of started the Resident Evil series. I think he was involved in, like, was it 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I think that might have been it. I know 4 was a big one for him. There's really not much in terms of horror out right now for the new consoles. So my friend picked this up and he lent it to me, and it's alright, but it's really not nearly as good as I expected it to be. I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. I'm not a big graphics guy, but the graphics were very underwhelming. I don't know if that's because they also put it on PS3 and Xbox 360, so they like just kind of ported over that game and like maybe cleaned it up a little. There's a lot of clipping, like if you walk through like things on the floor, or like there's tree branches down, you just kind of walk through them. There's no like animation to show like walking over them type of thing. From what I've played of it or seen of it, I don't remember how much I've played at all, it really reminds me of Resident Evil 4 in terms of like the action-oriented horror. It's got like a little bit of a creepy vibe, but it's really minimal. I feel like the bad guys aren't scary. They're kind of stupid looking, some of them. I've got to the, I think, end of level 3 or chapter 3, and they just really didn't suck me in. More recently, or at least, I don't know, a year or so ago, I played through all the Silent Hill games, and I loved them, and they really stood with me, and I had nightmares about them, and they were creepy, and the character design was cool, and the stories were interesting. This is not doing any of that for me. I feel like it's just a very action-oriented horror title. You feel kind of overwhelmed in terms of the bad guys. There's like, seems to be like a lot of them kind of gang up on you, and you only have a couple bullets. There's a pretty cool upgrade system where you can like sit in this electric chair, like electroshock therapy chair, and use this green gel you find, and use it to like maybe get more health or upgrade how quick your guns reload, or you know, you can run faster or run for longer periods of time, things like that. And that's kind of cool, and I like that setting because you do that in like a mental hospital, and there's like this nurse that walks around, and it's very ambiguous. I like ambiguous. I'm not big on like horror kind of in your face. I like the underlying creepiness, like the Silent Hill series for the most part, and like Jacob's Ladder, which I just mentioned in one of my videos. The sound effects are pretty cool, like there's kind of like grunting and shit in the background. You hear like the bad guys moving around, so that's kind of cool. There's sort of like a sneaking element where you can not completely sneak around like Metal Gear or anything, but definitely like have an upper hand by sneaking around and like stabbing the bad guys in the head or whatever. I don't know, it just, and my friend Brian said the same thing, it's just not enough. It doesn't feel different. It feels very bland. If I had to give it like a grade, I guess I'd give it like a 5 or 6. Like, I like it, but it's not something I'd go out and buy on release, obviously, because I didn't. It's not something, like, it's more like a rental or a loaner type of game. I'm just not into it. I can't explain why. It's missing something. And I don't know if that's just because I played so much Silent Hill that now, like, horror games don't really do it for me unless it's, like, creepy like that. But, yeah, it's very underwhelming. I was very disappointed because I'd heard so much about this hype around the game. I actually prefer Murdered Soul Suspect, which really isn't that scary. It's more like a detective title. I had done a review on that a while back, so I prefer that. I thought that was cooler. It held my interest. The story was more interesting. This is just, the main character doesn't have much of a personality. He seems kind of like blah. A lot of it seems just very underwhelming. There's just not really much for me to say. It's not scary or terrifying, as the back of the game says, tense and terrifying. It's really not. Yeah, so from what I played, I don't really expect to buy it or go back to it, but whatever. That's really it. Sorry guys, that was disappointing because, you know, most of the time I'm usually positive with my games, but just didn't do it for me. So, thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and Stella's over here asleep. Be good.